great lands or lands, welcome to an all-new video. In this video we're doing a movie review of a newer film that came out the end of April and is a sequel to a film 9 years later. So we're going to get right into that. Before we do that, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you miss this video and the other videos I put up. As always, people, if you enjoy my content here on YouTube, definitely check out my other social media platforms such as X, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Patreon, Threads. Pretty much post on these regularly, so definitely check them out. As always, let's get right in this. So welcome one and all to an all new video. So like I was saying before, we're doing a movie review of a newer film that came out the end of April, and is a sequel 9 years in the making called The Accountant 2. Yeah, The Accountant 2. Yeah. So The Accountant 2 is a sequel to The Accountant from 2016. Once again, has a great cast returning from the previous film with some newcomers and also the original director. And this film, you know, even though it took 9 years to get, it was actually a really decent sequel that I really enjoyed. I thought it was outstanding, fantastic. I even liked it even a little more than the original film. And I really enjoyed just where they took it and kind of how they took the story and really changed it. And, you know, really progressed the characters from the previous film to, you know, being almost 10 years later. And I think also the film was just really action-packed, lots of great humor in it, and just a lot of great camaraderie, too, that I thought was really excellent and really was fun and really well executed by the actors and actresses involved in the film. Now, this film, once again, is directed by the original director of the first film, who goes by the name of Mr. Gavin O'Connor. Oh, yeah, Gavin O'Connor. Woo, Gavin O'Connor, yeah. So Gavin O'Connor, like I said, directed The First Accountant, and he's directed a few other things over the years. And he's just a really fantastic, you know, director. And I really enjoy what he does with films. I enjoy his... definitely his action sense that he brings to his films, and I think that he does a really good job with that. But also, I really enjoy the humor and the camaraderie and just kind of the thought process he brings to his films, because I always feel he does a really excellent job in bringing to life his films. And he did that with The Accountant 2, because he definitely got really great performances out of all the different actors and actresses in the film to really fit the storyline very well. I mean, I think, you know, what he gets from Ben Affleck and from John Barathol is a really great, it really felt like they were brothers. And also, I just feel that he got a really great sense out of the other characters in the film as well that are playing a particular part. And I just really enjoyed, like, the thought process that he brought to it and giving us really great shots, really great camera angles. And I think that the locations and the music and everything throughout the film was just really well done as well. And I think Gavin just did a really fantastic job giving us a really great sequel that was definitely worth the, you know, almost 10 years waiting to get. That was a really great addition to that franchise. Now, if you haven't seen anything Gavin O'Connor has directed, definitely a great film to check out of his that came out in the early 2000s. It's a great Kurt Russell-led film called Miracle. Yeah. Miracle. Yeah. So Miracle, if you're not familiar with, is the film based on the 1980 Olympics hockey team that came out of nowhere and won. And it was the first time the U.S. had won in like a really long time, or the first time they won. I can't remember exactly, but I do remember it was the first in a really long time. And Kurt Russell plays the character of the coach, who is the coach of that USA team. And I think Gavin did such a great job with that film. He had a great idea of what to do for showing like kind of a sports-themed film. And I just absolutely love that he gave us such a great, exciting interpretation of that great story that took place back in 1980. And I really enjoyed also just kind of the skating and the hockey playing and kind of how he got all those great shots of the real, you know, real hockey being played and the different things. And I really enjoyed what he got out of Kurt Russell, bringing such a great performance by Kurt Russell playing that coach that I thought was just really excellent execution by him as well, that showed, you know, Gavin knew what he was talking about really showed his, directing style and kind of directing bravado, showing that he has a really good eye for what he was looking for, and he delivered in that film. And I just really enjoyed, too, just how well created that film was and how well it stands out still 20-plus years later. If you haven't seen anything Gavin O'Connor has directed, definitely check out Miracle. He did a really phenomenal job with it. But overall, I really enjoyed what he did with The Accountant 2. I thought it was a really great sequel to his first film, and I think he even topped himself a little bit with this one. And overall, I just think he made a really great, entertaining film that I think years from now will be really entertaining still. If you haven't seen anything Gavin O'Connor has directed, definitely go check out Accountant 2 in theaters now. He did a really fantastic job. So like I was saying before, this movie has a really great cast. A few people from the first film returned for this film, along with some newcomers. And of course, those great original characters coming back were fantastic. It was great to see where they were at and kind of how they developed. And I think that we really got a great kind of story out of these characters. And seeing where they're at now, I thought was really well developed and, really done well for a sequel being almost 10 years later. Now, to start us off is none other than kind of the main guy himself, the accountant himself, Mr. Ben Affleck! Oh yeah, Ben Affleck, woo! Ben Affleck, yeah! So, of course, you might recognize Ben Affleck from the 2003 Daredevil film. You might recognize him from, of course, Pearl Harbor, Armageddon. You might recognize him recently for playing Batman in the Snyder Universe. You might recognize him from a slew of other things over the years, Good Will Hunting, Chasing Amy, anything Kevin Smith's done. And Ben Affleck is just a really fun actor. I've always really enjoyed watching him. I think he does a great job. He plays really good kind of like asshole characters. At the same time, he can play some really great kind of hero characters that work out well. And also I think that he has a great sense to him that's always really entertaining and fun. And I think that's what he brought to, his development of his character, the accountant, because I really enjoyed kind of his development and kind of the changes he made and to, causing the character to kind of grow since his last film. And I really enjoyed just what Ben did with that character and how he stayed the same, but at the same time he also grew and learned things from what, his previous outing as the accountant, and really brought it to the forefront in this film and developed and grew on that. And I just think Ben did a really good job with that. And then his camaraderie and interaction with John Barathol is just really dynamic in this film. And I really feel like they were brothers. That's how good their camaraderie is, and I absolutely love it. And I just think Ben Affleck does a great job of playing kind of like a very kind of like an autistic type of person, where he's still all there basically, but he has a little bit of like a different types of issues. And Ben did such a great job of bringing that to life in the first film. He did it again in this one, and just really knocked it out of the park and gave us a really solid, reinterpretation and development and growth, like I said before, that I really just enjoyed and thought was overall really done well. And I think that Ben really delivers this character on point and just gives us a really great character and a really great growth to that character. Now, if you haven't seen Ben Affleck anything, definitely a great film to check him out in, and one I really enjoyed that came out in 2003. That is a sci-fi kind of thriller film. And that, of course, a film called Paycheck. Yeah! Paycheck. Yeah! So Paycheck is a great sci-fi action film directed by John Woo, stars Uma Thurman, Aaron Eckhart, Colin Fiore, and is just a really fantastic film. And I absolutely love Ben Affleck, and I think he plays such a great character. He's very smart, he's very action-packed, he's very awesome in it, and I just really enjoyed that characterization, that he has a lot of great humor to him, but at the same time he's very serious, and then at the same time he kind of has like a very street level, like down-to-earth type of feel to him, because he realizes with the power that he's been given that he needs to save the world from it. And I really enjoyed that about his characterization, and he just really played it out very well. And then the whole movie itself was just really done well, and just a really entertaining thrill ride that I thought Ben Affleck was just a great addition to, and made the film very entertaining and fun. Him and Paul Giamatti were great together in that film, and then the chemistry between him and Uma Thurman I thought was pretty dynamite as well, and worked really well too. But Ben just did a really good job of providing such a great character that was, I think, memorable and entertaining, and I don't think it's enough recognition for how fun that character was in that film, that I think it's one that everyone should definitely check out just to see how fun Ben Affleck was. If you haven't seen Ben Affleck or anything, definitely check him out in Paycheck. He was really phenomenal in it, and I really enjoyed him. Really fantastic film. I would give it a whirl. It's on Paramount Plus right now. Check it out, people. But when it comes to, his Accountant 2 performance, I really enjoyed him, like I said. Thought he was a great, growth of his character. I really enjoyed just what he did in the movie, and I think that he just did overall a really fantastic performance. If you haven't seen Ben Affleck anything recently, go check him out on Accountant 2. He did a really fantastic job. So before I get into my final actor I talk about in this film, just want to give some honorable mentions to a couple great actor and actress in this film that were just absolutely fantastic as well in the film, and just did a really good job. And of course, I want to start off with kind of the great female kind of antagonist of the film, that she kind of plays a role and she's kind of part of the story, and her story involves what's going on. And Danielle Pinati was just amazing in this film. I really enjoyed her. I thought she was really fantastic, and I just really enjoyed what she provided for that character she portrayed. And I just think she was a really great addition and played that character very well. And then also I just want to mention the great J.K. Simmons, of course, too, as well, who was in the film briefly, because his character's arc has a certain turning point in the film. But I absolutely love J.K. Simmons, and I think that his character is so awesome. We get him right off the bat of the film. He was such a great character in the first film, and it was too bad that we didn't get more of him in the second one, but he just was so fantastic in what little part he was in, and just really played it to the T and did a great job. And I just wanted to mention those two because they were just really great additions to the cast. But that brings me to the second and last actor I talk about this film, and that, of course, is the accountant's brother of the film, Mr. the Great, the Awesome, Mr. Again, John Bernthal. Oh yeah, John Bernthal, woo, John Bernthal, yeah. John Bernthal is so awesome, from his Punisher to many other characters he's played over the years. He's just an awesome actor that always brings his characters to life and gives them great value, gives them great acting, gives them just great fun, and you just really entertain and enjoy his characterizations. And this character that he plays, the accountant's brother, in these two films, is just freaking hilarious and awesome. Absolutely love the development that John did to this character, especially from the first film to this one. We get a lot more of him. We get a lot more into his character, kind of who he is and kind of what he's about. And John did such a great job of bringing that to life and just giving it a solid new interpretation of this great character and kind of the growth from the first film to this one. And I just really enjoyed, too, John, how he did with his, camaraderie and his companionship to Ben Affleck as brothers. And like I said, with Ben Affleck, both of them played like you really felt they were really brothers, and you could feel the love for each other. And that John just did such a great job of doing that too, and giving us such a great brotherly bond that was awesome. And he had some of the greatest dialogue in this film too, as well, especially when he's having a little conversation with the accountant and kind of how he's feeling and how he's doing and all that kind of stuff. And John was just so awesome and so amazing, and it just was so beautiful as well, and just well executed by John and by Ben as well in that moment. And John just really rocks this character. I absolutely love him. I think he's fantastic. His action sequences are amazing. His comedy, his dialogue, everything he did in this film was just on point and so much fun. And he just really rocked it, and I thought he was such a great addition to this franchise. Now, if you haven't seen anything John Bernthal has been in, definitely a great film to check out of his that I enjoy is a small part he had in a film that I think is super funny and, worth a watch. And then, of course, the film called Night in the Museum, The Secret of the Tomb. Yeah! Night in the Museum 3, 2, you can call it. Yeah! So, Night in the Museum, The Secret of the Tomb. Yeah! So, he was in this third film of the Night in the Museum films, and he plays Al Capone. And he is absolutely on point, amazing as Al Capone. And I think the best part about it is that he's actually in black and white, as you would see photos of actually Al Capone back in the day. It wasn't in color, it was always in black and white. And he is in black and white in the film, and is just so freaking awesome. And he is so hilarious as the character and plays the character so well. Very gangster-like and everything like that, you know, very much like a gangster in a film. But he plays it so well and so amazingly. And I can't get over how fun that character is. And I think it's a great showing of how talented Jon Bernthal is at, you know, humor and, you know, his acting and just everything about his acting that he does so well is encompassed in that Al Capone character. If you haven't seen, you know, Jon Bernthal, I think definitely check him out at Night in the Museum, The Secret of the Tomb. He was absolutely fantastic as Al Capone. But overall, really thought he was a great addition to The Accountant 2. He was so awesome, so fun. One of my favorite characters in the film. I gotta say he's probably my favorite because he just stole the show for me and was just so freaking awesome. If you haven't seen Jon Bernthal anything recently, go check him out in The Accountant 2. He was absolutely phenomenal. So what is The Accountant 2 about? Basically, the premise of the story is J.K. Simmons' character, who was in the first film, unfortunately gets killed. And he leaves a message on his arm before he dies to say to find the accountant. And so it's up to the accountant and his brother, Jon Bernthal's character, to basically finish this final assignment he was trying to complete before he passed. And kind of the crazy mystery they unsolve while learning this and kind of coming together again and becoming, you know, best bros at the same time. It's an absolutely fantastic film. Like I said, I think it's better than the first. I was really blown away with it. The action was fantastic. The music, the story, the dialogue, everything about this film was so well executed, and I just really enjoyed it. And I think it's just an amazing film. If you have not seen it, I highly recommend check it out. Giant 10 golden movie boxes up. Definitely will be added to collection to add to The Accountant 1. And this was just such a really fantastic film. And I think it was really fun on the big screen. If you haven't seen it yet, highly go recommend. Check it out in theaters now. Worth the watch. So that's it for this movie review, guys. As always, thank you for watching. Thank you for liking. Also, thank you for subscribing. If this is your first time here or you have been before, don't forget to check out again our new videos if you haven't seen mine yet. As always, people, if you enjoy my content here on YouTube, want to show support for it, please check out my awesome Patreon page where you can get all kinds of extra crucial you don't get here. Outtakes, bloopers, all that kind of cool stuff. You can even ask me to review a movie just for you, and I will do it. All that kind of stuff in my Patreon. So definitely check it out. Help support the channel. Also, a huge shout out to my subscribers, new and old. Thank you so much for being a part of the channel. As always, catch you next one.